What's going on, YouTube family? So today we are back, suited up, as you can tell, ready for Mick Jenkins' new album, Pieces of a Man. Just a few quick words before we get right into the reaction. I want to do this as quickly as possible and not waste too much of your time. I know Mick Jenkins is extremely talented. I know he's a lyrical dude. I know that a lot of his albums have concepts to them. And this album, from the title alone, seems like it's going to be really introspective and really honest. So I will say, dissecting the concept and the lyrics of a project on the first listen is not necessarily easy. So know that I'm going to be doing my best. I'm going to break down the production also as well as I can. Anything that you guys feel like I might have missed, let me know in the comments or hit me up. My social media is on screen. I'm expecting a really laid back vibe. I'm expecting some really wavy tracks to this. You know, I'm not expecting anything hype or anything like that. Just based on my experience with listening to Mick Jenkins. And yeah, I think that's a solid introduction. You know the drill. If you enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting. A lot of you guys have been following me on my social media. I really appreciate it. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can rewind and go back to where they appeared on the screen, or you can find all the links to my social media and my Patreon if you'd like to become a patron in the description. And yeah, let's just get right into Pieces of a Man by Mick Jenkins. I'm super ready to listen to this. Track 1 is Hair and Flow featuring Julian Bell. Oh, and I don't know when I'm going to be putting out the next video after this one. If it ends up being after Halloween, I hope you all have a very happy and safe Halloween. Be safe out there. You never know who you find in those streets. That's it. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video, and yeah, let's get right into it.
Face-to-face conversation, which can be an easy thing to lose sight of in the light of this digital age. What we are talking about.
Whoa. Oh, this is it. Oh yeah. So dope, dude. Alright, so we get track 1, Hair and Flow, and it's a spoken word track with a really dope jazzy instrumental outro. Featuring Julian Bell, who came in with really nice vocals for that outro. And yeah, kind of an introduction to the project. They're going to be talking about things that man has had to let go of, which are the pieces of a man. Things that man thought that he knew that he ended up having to let go of because he realized that he doesn't really know everything. I think that's kind of what I took from it. But basically we're just going to be kind of like dissecting mankind in this album. Track 2, Stress Fracture.
Oh no, wait, no, ice cold, no,
it's almost got like this vinyl feel to it. I love it.
I don't got time to my heels, cause I look good.
Ooh.
I'm just me undone, I'm too lit right now, big on the internet. Pretend I ain't into that.
Okay, so right now I'm digging this production a lot. I'm liking the bass line. I like the fact that it feels like it's a vinyl track almost. There's a little bit of background noise, and I think it makes it sound really unique and really soft and warm. I love the jazzy chords going on the keys, and right now I feel like they're talking about people like to take advantage of other people whenever you expose yourself a little too much. And so it's part of the reason why people struggle to talk about their feelings is because they feel like if they open up too much, people will have information on them that they can take advantage of, and just how that affects people's relationships with each other and also affects people's well-being because they feel like they're not allowed to talk about what's going on and they bottle all that stuff up. So it's been really cool so far, and the track is really wavy.
Intangible, but I know I didn't get this way randomly. Handed me cards that was playing in advance, so
yeah.
Oh no, wait, no, just kidding. I don't got time to figure out how I feel.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, so like he said, you know, I'm ice cold, no Gretzky. So it's like not opening yourself up to people, having a cold relationship with somebody. I don't have time to figure out how I feel. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about how I'm feeling. I don't want to open myself up to you because I don't want you to be able to have that over me if you ever want to take advantage of me. He says right here, there's just some things that I just never speak. So it's like, yeah, it's talking about things that you keep bottled up inside and not wanting to speak. And this is one of the pieces that man has to let go of. That he thinks he knows that this is right to bottle things up and to not open up. but he's got to let go of that because in actuality it's good for people to open up and talk to other people. It's a dope track. Track 3 is Gwendolyn's Apprehension. Whoa! Tell me why this instrumental sounds like it would be used in a Miami introduction.
That's what you call that. Real cool, what you call that. Fast, quick, fast, +1, that's quick math. Quick, say slow with the blockchain.
Yeah.
Speed race till we running out of octane. I roll out, you already.
This is so smooth, fam. Oh, this hook is dope. This production's so wavy. I love how laid back his delivery is.
Connected, no cursive, is more coercive than simple calligraphy. Figure me a whole different incidental. Way before followers.
The wordplay.
It was 50, now it's Barney's. Is that you and me?
Yeah.
A noble savage army, nigga, who you be?
Nice. I'm liking this concept too. So here, what I'm getting from this is what man has to let go of here is his stubbornness, his mentality that no one can teach him anything. You know, in the first verse, right, he talks about somebody who could be a flower, but he doesn't want to grow. You can't teach a young person because they don't want to know. You know, that young mentality where you think you know everything and no one really has anything to give you or offer you in terms of advice or how to live your life. He also mentions a little bit of it in the second verse where, you know, he says people think that they're schooling him, you know, and it wasn't until a bit later when I started flowering. So, you know, in the first verse he said that the person could be a flower. So the flowering is maturing, and I needed pollination, not your validation. So as he grew older, he realizes that he needs that advice and that counsel on how to approach different situations in his life from people that are supposed to be mentoring him. It's man letting go of that mentality, that youthful mentality where you think you know everything, maturing and realizing you need help. So in the same way where people are supposed to be talking about their feelings, they're supposed to be open to taking advice from people who have been through what they're going through. If I'm way off base, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Next track is Soft Porn. Hey. I love these bass lines that he uses in this production.
To me with the clothes off. Feel like I take it.
Whoa!
What's so hard about the naked truth? Change it.
Wow, this is so wavy.
Talk dirty to me with it too. Give me high takes, give me proof. Give a chance to prove. Let a man improve. I'ma say I grew. Now I'm really real. Trying to get old like a Philly shell. Don't nobody want no smoke with me from spoken words or poetry.
Okay, so this concept is really nice. It's called soft porn because here he's stripping down the truth to get to the naked truth. He wants to get to reality, to what things actually are. And so he's talking about stripping it down, naked truth, you know, things like that. So it's all kind of like very sensual and intimate, where you have this picture of people, you know, undressing and things like that, when in reality he's talking about just getting down to brass tacks and to facts. And he just wants this person that he's talking to be real with him. He says right here, to give him a chance to prove that he improved, you know, to tell him the truth, you know, to be real with him. It's a really, really cool concept. And I think that what man might be having to let go of here is lies, you know, and having to actually just face hard, cold truths.
It's plenty dollars out here, they'll pay you to keep it on. They'll pop your collar as long as you go and play the role. I'm popping bottles of starch, niggas know I can't fold.
He says, I dare you to strip it down. There's plenty dollars out here to pay you to keep it on. What he's talking about is people who sell out, people who basically sell their soul and who they are for money, you know, people who are willing to let go of their principles, all just for money, you know. And so when he says there's plenty of dollars to pay you to keep it on, it's to keep on the falseness, the fakeness, instead of stripping off and just being real with yourself, with other people, as to who you are. Oh, this flow is so crazy. I still can't get that time back on it all. Not peeking at all, no valleys in sight. I rally to fight. Yeah, again, I don't think that's one of the best tracks that I've heard so far, just because the beat is really It's nice and it's not bad at all, and I don't really have any criticism for it. It's just one of those tracks that is just so mellow that I really need to be in that mood to really vibe to it, you know? So that's why it's not one of really my favorites. But in terms of the concept and man having to embrace truth and reality and face who he is and be who he is with other people and to be real with them and to surround yourself with people who have also embraced truth, yeah, it's man letting go of falsehood. So really cool. Next track is Grace and Mercy.
Wake up thanking God.
Whoa.
Wake up thanking God. It's a Game of Thrones. All I see is Cersei.
Hey.
Stay with the squad. Still be smoking Percy. Cut with us. Playing all the roles. Where the fuck is Eddie Murphy?
Nice.
Thirsty. You want poppin' shit in person. Fast niggas prone to pillow talk. Niggas dope. Dodging comment with these kilowatts. Wake up thanking God.
Oh, this slaps, dude. If I'm being honest, I didn't really take much from it besides the fact that it slaps. There are a lot of really dope references, a lot of really cool wordplay, but the concept is, it went over my head. I couldn't find a correlation to, you know, anything really on this track. Let me know if I'm missing something. I feel like the concept just went right over my head and all I could focus on was the production. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I don't think this one was like really for me, basically, because yeah, it feels like I'm missing something here. Next track is Barcelona. Oh, that bass riff.
I never deep it crooked. They offer 20, I'm worth more. I told my nigga book it. Praise God, my position isn't make or break it. No nigga with dreams of busting all over your girl. That's belittling, biggest schemes we been scribbling. Notice this plug, belittling, trying to give you a visual.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Giving me the visuals for sure.
My point is these niggas running with scissors and headed straight for the plug. Mogul talking business, moving at the pace of a slug. Let the try to be so cold and power.
Yo, this song is so dope. I'm loving the production. I love that verse. So dope, dude.
A tornado flew around my room before you came. I straightened it right before your eyes. You see my stain, see me basically.
So here we have him, you know, talking about himself, things that he's going through, the shows, not feeling like he's valued as much as he actually values himself, talking about, you know, schemes that he's got, plans that he's got, not having too much time for relationships, having to treat weed like it's Ritalin, you know, turning to it to relax and to give him some peace because of all the things that are going on around him. This is a dope track. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Next track is Percy Interlude.
And niggas was like, what? I already knew what he said. But niggas was looking at him like, what? Hitting that John is sniffing it.
Alright, yeah, just a little skit, him talking to a friend, talking about what Percy means. It's basically a personal joint, just to smoke for yourself. Next track is Reginald.
Hey, feeling like that nigga. These days my skin is much clearer. My woman's skin is much clearer. Of course I'm drinking my water. Don't spend too much time in mirrors. About me from moments. I'm more a compilation. No composition is complicated.
Oh.
I'm some plot lines and I will peak. We don't peak in capacity.
Yeah.
Giving notice. My tribe is of Judah. Your kind is of Judah.
Whoa!
This season, no Brutus among us. What you wanna do about me telling the truth? I get it, you sensitive, and I don't say that with malice. My intentions are offensive and point.
Yeah, this is smooth. I like this. Alright, yeah, so here basically, so earlier he was talking about things that he had to let go, right? And having to let go of falsehood and to be real with himself and with other people and to tell the truth. And lately it feels like he's been talking about some of the struggles that he's been having with the people around him because he's being truthful and he's just got to be honest with the people, and a lot of them are sensitive, a lot of them get, you know, hurt in their feelings about it. And so, you know, he says right here, he says, if it's Reggie, then I gotta let you know, keep it real. You know, don't call me a hater just because I wasn't liking the flow. You know, so it's like he's talking about him being real and people getting upset over it. But even though they're getting upset over it, it's making him feel better. It's healthier for him. He says, you know, his skin is much clearer, his woman's skin is clear. Don't spend too much time in front of mirrors, because if you keep reflecting, it'll get you caught up. So it's like, don't think about it too much. Don't dwell on the fact that these people are sensitive, because you're being honest. Because your being honest is going to be doing good for you. Production's got this electric piano that's really soft. It might be a Rhodes. and it sounds so smooth. They always use these really jazzy chords with these riffs to really add color and texture to the track. The bass line's always so smooth. You know, it just really adds this really wavy feel to the track. It's a really nice vibe. Track 9, I believe, is where we're at now. And it is Padded Locks.
Somebody put me on the leash, I'm bucking wild like the AK, cause it came from Cater. I point it down so you can't escape her. Even if you duck, niggas biting crazy. Already seen a death by rabies. Niggas getting lazy, digging holes and pushing daisies. That's hype, mad different, but I ain't mad, I'm high as a kite. Trippin' supplying the light, niggas can't buy this advice, listen.
Yo, that verse is so dope. Alright, so hold up, let me dissect this a little bit here. Alright, so again, he's bringing truth, he's bringing honesty, he's bringing the way that he sees life to people who are sacrificing their integrity for a check. That's what he's doing. He says we read the same Bible, but you guys quote it different. You guys are distorting actual truth to try and justify the sacrifice of your integrity and your dignity because you're a sellout. That's what he's saying here. He's supplying the light. People can't buy this advice. He's giving it for free. Know that if you're Rodman, you're never going to be Mike or Pippen, but that's not a diss. You know, Rodman, as we all know, was a very essential player to the Chicago Bulls' big three, and still he never gets as much credit as Scottie or as Michael Jordan, and that's totally okay though. You can be essential and not be in the limelight. That's why he says it's not a diss, it's just the truth. And that's really what he's talking about here, is people are getting lazy, and so they take an easy way out for a check. They just throw their dignity and their integrity away. He mentions Bunk, you know, where is it? Right here. Bunk acting like it's gravy, looking crazy on the internet. You know, so he's really bringing facts. That's really what I think this project has been about so far, is just him speaking his truth, and letting go of, you know, like I said, falsehoods and the mask that he might have been wearing before, and just being real with people and not caring whether people are sensitive about it because it's his truth and it needs to be said. Really dope verse. Also, I didn't mention it before, but this has a Ghostface Killah verse on it, so let's see what that's like. This production is really simple. I'm digging the sample though with the strings.
This is basic as a baby daddy. Oh, Maury, fucking fake chain blinging, auto-tune singing. I'm a killer beat straight out the hive and I'm singing. Donald Trump is a piece of shit.
Hey.
I got 36 chambers, hollow tip in the clip.
Yeah.
Smoking dick.
Oh, that was a dope feature, dude. This is a great track. Next track is Ghost. I'm loving those snare rolls. Oh, the snap also. Really nice touch.
I dig my personal space. Put the flower in the paper, put the earth in my face. With my lady and we lay up for the girls of the day. Key, I'm low key, but to clarify, I really just be more focused on me.
Yeah.
Verify these claims with anybody that know me.
Again, you're talking about focusing on himself, bettering himself as a man, and being true to himself. It's high key that he's low key. He's just been focused on himself. You can verify these claims with anyone that knows him. He's singing his own words. He doesn't do karaoke, which means he's on his own beat. He does his own thing. He speaks his truth the way that he likes to, when he wants to, and he lives his life his way. I feel like this project has really been about truth and being real with yourself and the people around you. And these pieces that make up, you know, him, he really values honesty and truth above a lot of the other pieces.
Partial to parsley and all the medals with tarnish. You played your hardest and they ate your heart out. I beg your pardon, I'm more hard and I can't ride a bitch about it.
Yeah. Talk your stuff, bro.
With the vision and now you see me in vintage frames. I'm simply saying what I'm saying, I go super saiyan.
Yeah, I love his wordplay. Fantastic lyricism, dude. Really wavy. I think this hook could be a little bit better, but it's not bothering me too much, so leave it at that.
Places, but the real do my shit just like Jimmy O's. Hearing more voices that try to influence choices I make. I'm simply trying to prosper. What the
flow, metaphors, wordplay, all on 10. Yes, definitely, this is it. Production is really understated. It's underneath his vocals. His lyricism is always the focus of his track. The production is solely there for the purpose of setting the mood, creating this really warm atmosphere for you to be comfortable while you listen to what he's saying. It never focuses too much on the actual production. His lyricism here is so on point. So many metaphors, bars on bars. I mean, his wordplay is impeccable. The allusions to other pieces of work, of literature, of, you know, movies, I mean, all of it is just so well done. Next track is Hair and Flow 2.
The man has lost his mind almost about as quick as he found it. And it's dark in there, in his mind.
Next track is Plainclothes. Oh, I like this.
I've been getting high as hell before these fucking
Oh! Yeah! Oh, this rides!
Spring, summer, fall, when I got the trees on me. Breeze on me, I might need to grab a nigga. They used to tax a nigga, now I'm in a new bracket.
Yeah! This is so awesome, dude. This track's so wavy.
Had a level mind, had a level up. Styles, I got several kinds. And the other side, yeah, this other line, yeah.
So here he talks a lot about fashion, surface level. He talks a lot about fashion, about always dressing nice, never being in plain clothes, always making sure that he looks his best, always having a fresh outfit. He knows that people are judging him based on what he looks like, not only his skin color, but the way that he dresses, and so he always tries to look his best so that people would judge him for as... It's tough to describe. Hold on, I'm getting my words together. He dresses his best so that people might think more of him than they normally would if he were actually dressing as himself. He needs to put on this facade of being well dressed and always looking fly as hell so that people think higher of him when he's still the same person just wearing clothes that aren't plain. You know, my take on this may be way off base. It might just be a song about wearing cool clothes, you know? From my experience with Mick, I find it hard to believe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this track, because I'm gonna need your help to really dissect this one a little further. I believe the next track is Pull Up. Let me see. Yeah, track 13, Pull Up.
Fed up, had to get that bread up. I gotta focus, I've been giving out so much of myself. Fuck it, tell the homies pull up on me, I've been down the ride. I've learned to work in environments that really aren't conducive for work. Just because of the way that this shit worked. I throw my made it back and all I had was shit to fix when I got home. Lose real friends when I begin my song. Get slimes for the sand when
He's talking about his relationships with his friends.
My chins and skyline pull-ups.
And the dynamics that come with those relationships.
Watch the vapors elevate with my prayers. Finish snap, celebrate the royal heirs. In the background, my homies background. Grands back in the day, we smoked the whole pack.
Yeah, so here I feel like he's talking about his relationship with his relationships with his friends, and how those relationships may or may not be beneficial to him and to his life, to the work that he's trying to do, how hard it is to maintain the friendships, whether the friends are supportive or whether they just want him to support them. Things like that. I think it's a dope track. I think that the production's really smooth again. Next track is Consensual Seduction.
Beyond what you mentioned, what you want from me, I could see little inclinations, look like invitations, more low-key with my natural nature. I mean, unspoken understandings are indeed rarities I need you to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And it's my move until shorty endorse that on until she releases endorphins. I need to speak in case I'm tweaking and just seeing distortions. My breath stop to short and I caution my blushing important. Just
nice.
We can do the wait if you can't more than whisper. I mean, I mean it.
Nice. He's talking about consent. This is dope. He needs to know if these signals that he's getting are real. He needs her to say it out loud and let him know if she really wants him. Because he can't make a move if she doesn't consent. This is dope. Oh, this voice. Oh, I've got goosebumps. This is it. Really dope. All about consent, all about making sure that both parties are into whatever you're doing. Especially for him, because he's a person that's in the limelight, you know, people know who he is, and so, like he says right here, if something about him hits, you know, TMZ, everyone around him is just going to judge him based off of half of a story, and it'll affect the rest of his life. And so he really needs to be careful. He needs to make sure that she says things out loud so that he knows exactly what cues he's receiving. Absolutely. Women, be sure to let your partners know, and men too. Let your partners know. Everybody, if you're watching, let your partner know what you like, if you want to, if you don't want to, and let's just say what we're thinking. Let's just be real, just like this project is all about being honest. If you're not into something that your partner's doing, just speak up. Just let them know. Because if you're with somebody, if you're in an intimate moment with somebody that you don't feel comfortable opening up to or comfortable talking to and letting them know what you like in the first place, you might regret even being in that situation with that person later on. I'm just saying. Don't do something you'll regret. And yeah, say things out loud. Next track is U-Turn. I'm loving the keys that he's using on all these songs. Hey, this rides. I love it. I'm loving this vibe already.
Passionate, I'm passionate. Love my track like Spock, cause I'm logical as fallacies. All the bills, all the bills, super tragedy.
Yeah.
Sounding basic, pain and pleasure shit.
The wordplay again is on 10.
My first name is Jason. You don't want me for he's cause you see.
Yeah.
It's my parking spot. I just busted you. I'm way too hot for the hot box. She wanna see the moon through the sunroof.
Oh, this flow.
Right from the west side. South side, you're so uncouth. I don't ever tell no untruth though.
Yo, that's a really nice track. I'm really digging the production on that one, man. The wordplay on both those verses. Well, actually, the first verse had a lot better wordplay. The second verse was kind of fast. I do like the fact that in the second verse, though, he switched up his flow 2 times. Next track is Understood.
Deep conversations about language, which one you speak? All the niggas claim bilingual, lie through their teeth. Shocking the perspective and points. Went from selecting electives to collecting the coins to rejecting investments to connecting with legends and stressing acceptance.
Yeah.
I'm on the corner, feel like Dion with these cowboys. Don't speak snake with these Malfoys though. No, sometimes
I love that guitar, dude.
Really saying shit ever, I spit it all. I spit it all on the paper. I'm twisting all of this paper. I'm spinning all of this paper for retail therapy. Low, they still can.
We're going on to the last track now, Smoking Song. And then we'll get to the review.
I'ma just sit in this corner here. Roll up the dope on my dolo. Fresh, I got dressed at the corner. That's how I started talking this water. That's when we started making the money. 6 figures and not one was a father and one.
Dang! What is that a saxophone? It's gotta be. And then just having like the bass line be so dope and carry the whole track. So nice. It might be a clarinet. Now I don't know. An oboe maybe?
Never from concentrate.
Yeah.
Got through security with contraband. I'm on my door like underlay. Step in the
Alright fam, so my thoughts on this project. I mean, I think the concept of this whole project is really just truth. Pieces of a man, right? We have pieces of Mick Jenkins. And it's these pieces that he is letting us in on. You know, the first couple tracks were about opening up and talking about your feelings and who you are. And so he's going to show us these pieces of him. And for the rest of the entire project, we just see him being truthful and honest about different situations in his life. The whole point is to just be real with yourself. Be you. Be honest. And have real people around you. And it'll do wonders for your life, for your, you know, for your insecurities, and for your, I mean, he talks about his skin being clearer, but just you'll feel better when you're able to be honest with the people that are around you. And when you know that they're being honest with you. Just being absolutely real 100% all the time. Not being afraid to speak your mind. Not being afraid to say things out loud. And to just be truthful. Always. That's what I think this project is about. I think that it was delivered in a really nice way. The tracks all feel very warm, very soulful and jazzy. The production absolutely sets the tone for, you know, Mick Jenkins' message to be delivered in a way that people will receive it and feel comfortable receiving it. He sets a very nice warm feeling for you to be able to listen to what he's saying. His wordplay is on 10, the lyricism is all on 10, similes, metaphors, allusion, alliteration, I mean, all of it. It's just all really well put together. I think this project is tremendous, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know what you guys think about the video, about the project in the comments. Hit me up on my social media. Become a patron on Patreon. I'd super appreciate it. Thank you all so much for the support of the channel that you guys have been giving. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. We'd love to have you. And yeah, Let's talk about this album in the comments section. I would love to. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.